Patterson. We are at the 13th annual St. Louis Prototype Modelers Meet. I'm doing an outdoor photo shoot. We're going to talk about this table saw. That's absolutely magnificent. This is the best hobby in the world.
What's neat?
What's neat?
What's neat?
What's neat starts now.
Catch the What's Neat podcast every week and full episodes of What's Neat every month at the Model Railroad Hobbyist YouTube page.
35 minutes late.
264 show?
Yes,
Wow.
Richard.
Ready?
Give us a countdown.
No.
3,
Sorry, James.
2, 1.
The What's Neat This Week video podcast is supported by enthusiastic model railroaders just like you.
These are anyway.
And by GL Robotics. With over 61 colors of 3D printing filaments in stock, your gateway to new technology. Check out their website at glroboticsusa.com. Further support is provided by Microengineering, keeping you on track with quality products for 55 years. Check out their website at www.microengineering.com. Order from your local dealer or order direct by calling 1-800-462-6975. Additional support is provided by Spring Creek Model Trains, your destination for model trains. Stop in and say, wow. Check out their website at springcreekmodeltrains.com. And by Intermountain Railway Company, where the detail makes the difference. Check out their website at intermountain-railway.com. Additional support is provided by Yelsma Graphics, America's leading distributor of quality railroad art and embroidered clothing since 1985. Check out their website at yelsma.com. Further support is provided by the NCE Corporation, the power of DCC. Visit their website at ncedcc.com. And thank you for supporting the What's Neat This Week podcast. This is the What's Neat This Week video show in model railroading, show number 264 for February 10th, 2024. I'm your host, Ken Patterson, the host of the What's Neat show over at Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine, which is an e-zine. It's a magazine, guys. Check it out if you've never seen it before. And he hosts our once-a-month video called What's Neat, where we build stuff and get our hands dirty. The March show is being worked on right now, where George Bogatuk does a segment on painting backdrops, which is very timely because I painted my backdrop this week. So, yes, good job, George Bogatuk. We love you. Sitting in the studio tonight, we've got all of our favorites, starting over here with Mike Buddy. Hey, Mike.
Hey, everybody.
Sitting right next to Mike, I've got my favorite farmer, Joshua.
I'm actually
Barton.
sitting next to you, not
Right.
next to Mike.
But
Hi, everybody.
What
What
up?
up, everybody? How are you? How you doing?
The new
Farmer Josh here.
That's it.
And right next to Josh is our favorite giggling
Thanks.
Daniel Coombs.
hi, everyone.
And right next to him is Steve Mantia,
He's
Hello,
giggling
hello.
as well.
who looks good in that sweater and had a very good show last week at the Great American Train Show. Sales were good.
Yes, they were.
So the hobby is doing fantastic.
Yes, yes.
All right, so we're going to talk about a lot of interesting stuff tonight, including boats, aren't we?
Steamboats, steamships. Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm going to just launch into the update on what I've gotten done this week down in this layout room, which seems to be a new thing that I'm starting to talk about because there's a lot going on.
I love
Right,
it.
you are
progress.
changing a lot.
Very nice.
All right, I received what I call the Pac-Man train, which is a Canadian Pacific ore hauling train of 83 little gondolas, little Jenny-like type gondolas. And this train's been floating around the basement for years. This week, I started replacing all the ladders on it that had fallen off of it. Evidently, Durlin doesn't stick to that many glues, and that was a problem with that run of those cars. So after replacing all of the ladders on these cars for 4 days, drilling holes out using tester's glue, and I'm not sure if that's going to hold up well, which has got me concerned.
We will see.
But all of the cars, until I ran out of ladders, so there's like maybe 6 or 7 more cars that need to be done, but the ladders are gone forever. They got vacuumed. Also been painting the wheels on this consist and the locomotives, and I like to pre-mix my paint. And I was going to write down the color of paints that I use, but I'm going to do it from heart here. I used rail brown, I used a little bit of rust, and I used earth, the old Flocal lacquer-based paints. Mix my own color for the wheels and, of course, the trucks, and I also weather with this spray when I do light weathering on freight cars. That same color pattern seems to match the prototypes. So the wheels look good, the locomotive wheels look decent. Everything still needs to be completely oil paint weathered on this consist. And it's a beautiful little train just for fun.
I know
it never hold coal.
I noticed that in your consist, every third, fifth or so car is weathered. And
That's because the original set that I had received when I think Chris Powell-Myers brought those to me, the first set I actually loaded off and weathered them all. And then as the train grew and got more of the cars added to it over a period of time, those are the ones that aren't weathered.
But that's really prototypical with a lot of consists. You'll
Sure.
see that some of them are really dirty and some of them come
Right.
from another place.
There's some UP
and are
cars
really
in there
clean.
too.
There sure are.
It's just
So,
an interest. It's an
was
interesting
this,
choice.
where did this train run from? And what is that? The iron ore? Is that what they carry?
That's what's supposed to be in there, but I like the way coal looks and it sparkles. So this is my make-believe train. That's why I call it the Pac-Man train.
But we never saw those in our part of the country. So they were like where, in Minnesota or?
Yeah, northern Minnesota, up the iron
Well,
ore
Canadian
docks.
Pacific, right? Yeah,
Yep,
It's a very cool consist.
it is.
I know, right? Oh, wow. So what do we got going on? You brought a Walthers catalog. You got a lot of neat stuff going
I
on
did.
here.
So, me growing up in the era that I did when I was a little kid, 4 to 10 or 12, I always got a Sears catalog.
Oh, yeah.
Right
Tycho
around
was in there.
October.
Right.
Would look
Yeah.
at all the He-Man stuff, all the cool Star Wars stuff, the G.I. Joe stuff, and I would just drool, and then I'd have to circle what I wanted by, a certain time, and then that would be what I asked Santa for. And they would just send the Sears catalog to Santa.
Right?
And now we have a new Sears catalog,
Right.
which is the Walthers catalog.
Wow, that was okay. Now I know.
Nice segue.
See,
I-
see
Yeah,
that?
nice segue.
So,
Okay.
so now I drool over all the stuff in the Walthers catalog, and here's the new.
You got a new one already?
2024-2025 edition, and it has some neat additions in there. And I like to keep my old ones too as a reference. Because some things just go out of
Right.
style and then they're gone, and I like to see, well, that's what it looked like back in the day.
Yep.
This is how they look now, but these are really good for any kind of model builder that's doing HORN scale.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a reference guide for everything,
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
of course, they don't have the small 3D printed mom and pop places, and that's why you watch this show here. But for all the, major companies, you have this here, and I just wanted to remind people that they're out there and go to your local hobby store to get them. Ours is Red Board and Mark Twain.
That's
Yep.
right.
Yeah.
Spring Creek model trains.
Yeah, they actually won an award in here along with Lombard Hobbies.
Nice.
So yeah,
Take us on the very front.
So you're leaving this here tonight?
yeah, I can.
Right.
I'll just take $20 out of the drawer.
It's like the model railroading encyclopedia of all
I'll,
the
I'll, give,
details
I'll give you
right
20
there.
bucks
I
for it.
mean-
It'll save me the gas.
Okay,
Done deal.
whatever.
He just gets the book for the pictures.
Yeah.
That's
That's
it.
how I
Or
just
no,
look
no,
at the
you
pictures.
read it for the articles.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute.
The
I'm supposed to be doing a
articles.
show
The
now,
articles,
and I'm looking.
Stop, come on,
I'm looking
okay.
at look at that great Ken Patterson shot of the auto
Yeah.
rack
Boy,
loading
Look at
facility.
that.
there. Is that on there?
Yeah, look at that.
There it
That's
is.
crazy. Ken Patterson photos.
Oh, it's
You
on
get
the
'em here,
screen.
Xerox them. Get these at your
I
local
used to
hobby
really
store.
model some great stuff before I started painting wheels and replacing ladders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
There's that pig train that we run around the basement down here with the Santa Fe 1969 consist of the that I just pulled out the big box. All of the door hinges, latches, and
Oh,
all that
yeah.
stuff needs to be put on each side of all of those 28 or
Oh,
trailers or 40 trailers or whatever that consist is.
And we don't get to see a lot of piggybacks around here, but we've been in other places. And
There's
saw
another
piggybacks now.
multi-day project of listening to reruns of air disasters on TV
Oh.
while you're sitting down here gluing all of these little parts on each side of each thing to make. Oh my God! There goes the military train. It's
That's the thing. How
this
in-
is why I like doing scenery.
How in depth do you want to get with your scenery? And that's the question that you have. You know?
Right.
And that's a fine line, I feel, in my building. I have big projects that I want to do, and then I'll break away and do something small, like a little bit of scenery.
I don't know where I'm going with this, but you've never seen Mike Buddy bring a trailer here that doesn't have hatches on it and things on it. But yet I've been running
Well-
that train down here since 2007 without
Yeah.
the. Never mind that every single tire on the whole thing's cracked, so you got to go through and
Right.
replace all the tires.
The Walthers Flexi vans, a lot of those I never put those grab irons on. In that
You don't?
Yeah,
Okay, so-
See,
a lot
you
of
don't feel
them.
as
But
bad now.
the passenger cars is my main fault. They for a long time they came. I think they came pre-drilled even. I don't remember. Maybe
And all
not.
you had to
Maybe
do
you had
was
to
stick
drill them, but they came with the little package of grab irons, and I never put those things
Yeah,
on.
that's detail that I can't find time to do right
Yeah.
now. You know, there's so many more bigger projects to get done with
Yeah.
my layout, my
yeah.
studio.
I
and
guess
all
that's
that.
why we're paying more for it. Cars
Well,
that already
I'd
have
rather
them on.
pay, I'd
my
rather
time
pay
is
Jason
worth it.
Sean a couple more bucks to have it completely detailed.
Definitely.
Thank you,
Yes.
Rapido Trains.
Yes. Right.
Joshua, I got this picture in my head. Show the picture of the way you're redesigning your clouds.
Okay.
Please.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Talk about
Oh
this.
man, that
Here
is
you go. Okay, so if you know, I'll probably give you a picture or two.
No,
I had,
give me the pictures because
I-
I want
I-
to show.
right,
I
so-
want them tasting this with their eyes.
So I had clouds in my old layout.
Yes.
Okay, and they were big, heavy clouds and made to look like rain clouds because I have a storm system that does lightning.
Right.
Well, now I'm going to put strip light on the ceiling. I'm going to take chicken wire and put the chicken wire down on a table, spray glue over it, and put polyfill that you would put into a pillow.
Yes.
And make it look like clouds. Let that dry to the
Chicken wire.
chicken wire, and then I'll take gray and black spray paints and spray up high so it'll fall onto it. Because when you have rain clouds, the underneath of the rain clouds are darker than anything up above.
Yes.
Right.
So now I have the chicken wire with all of the clouds on it. I'm going to flip it upside down and I'm going to mount it to the ceiling over the lights.
Right.
And this is kind of the ending.
So the lights
reveal.
shine through it.
Correct. So it looks, and I staggered the lights in a way that there's dark spots, there's light spots. So it looks like there's some sunlight coming through a little bit. And so I'm going to mess with it this is just one room, but I'm going to do it to the whole studio,
Wow.
which is a 2-car
Yeah.
garage.
Have you seen that
Nice.
picture he's talking
Yes.
about?
So-
Yeah, that's
so-
really cool.
So I think I'll have more pictures after I have more of it done, and I'm going to try different techniques and try to perfect it a little more. But I think it has definite potential to it.
Yep.
So yeah, there's my cloud picture that you wanted to
God,
talk
that was
about.
amazing.
I'm also like I said, I'm taking over my 2-car garage, and it's going to kind of be a studio. So I have another picture here that, since you're asking for pictures, I painted the back of the garage door in a green,
Okay.
so we can use it as a green screen for shooting different things, being in different places, having different backgrounds. So just another thing to toy around with for the
That's
show.
fun.
Yeah,
another
sure
genius
is.
Cool.
idea.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
love building the studio. It's so much fun to do, and
It
all the
is.
ideas.
Yeah, oh yeah, I got a ton of them.
All right, so I'm going to try to do this. I was going to do this 2 weeks ago. Actually, there's a couple things I'm going to do with you. Here we go. You've got these lowboy trailers. I believe that's what they call them on the table here.
Oh boy.
The first one I've got is from the old Motor Art photo shoot that I did for Steven Weedby Cool in Sweden when I had the Motor Art account, which is really cool. And they're deep. So this is one of the trucks that came with the project, and it's all die cast. Then I went to the Great American Train Show last week, and I found this one, and I believe this is a Norse Scott right here with the
Yeah.
3 bogies on the rear. And it actually came with the cab that came with it. And I put an upgraded vehicle on here. That's a Motor Art vehicle. And then the third one is an articulated low boy for heavier equipment. and that one was from Promotex. I mean, these things are only like $10 or $15. And what an interesting concept for hauling the equipment to my site over there, where they would then transfer it to a train or rail or whatever this business is that I'm going to eventually build on that diorama that'll encompass a lot of these excavators and vehicles where they're either sitting there available for sale. I assume they do repairs and tune-ups there for equipment, and they also load rail cars. Generally, I imagine that at the factory, when they build these, if they're going to put them on a train, they're going to do it there, but this is a business that does it somewhere else. So a little freelancing going on here, but there's probably a prototype for it somewhere, which is what led to this thing with the trucks tonight.
Didn't Menards have some trucks like this for a while?
I'm not sure.
It was all over the 187th Vehicle Group, and what a good deal they were. And I forgot the brand name, but Motor Art sounds familiar, but they were too modern for my era, so I didn't really, pay attention or even look for them. But I mean, those are nice trucks, flatbeds
They
with
are.
that
I've
construction
got one of them,
equipment.
O-scale wise flatbed. It's carrying
Yeah.
the streetcar.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
one?
Yes, I
got
have.
one there. I can't think of who makes it, but it's one thing that has that flatbed and the
Yeah.
like it's transporting an old streetcar. And I think it's pretty neat. And one of these times I'll have to bring it also.
Yeah.
Yep.
I want to talk steamboats. Can we talk steamboats?
You want to do that?
I want to talk steamboats.
Okay.
Okay.
How do
hold
we-
on,
how do we
hold on.
start this one?
Okay. So I'm reminiscing. I'm in a reminiscing.
This show
mood
used to be so
with-
professional.
with the Sears catalog. Let me tell you something that I went to when I was 4 or 5 years old as a field trip. We went down to the arch and we got to see the arch. We got to go up in the arch. I was scared to death. I'm scared of heights, everybody, okay? In the arch, little bitty boxes, okay, looking down. But after that, we got to go to the riverfront.
Yes.
And I remember all the steamboats parked on the riverfront, the Tom Sawyer and all these other ones. And this one here, the McDonald's
Yeah, I
steamboat.
knew that's where this was
And
going.
boy, I was tickled pink that I could be on a boat and
Yeah.
order some chicken McNuggets, and it was just
The
a
McDonald's,
fun time.
yeah.
Yeah,
That was fun.
was really near and dear to my heart as a
Right.
kid, and seeing the Admiral there on the strip and all the other steamboats.
Yeah, I think there was a Burger King
There-
boat
yeah, I
down
think
there
there
for a
was
while
as
too,
well.
and now
So-
there's. Oh well.
Well, I modeled the water scenes on this layout, which is big enough to have the barge and the tugboat on that's been over there for years. And I purchased this Lindbergh model of a Robert E. Lee, which I figured you could take this model and kit bash it into something, because this is about N scale, the way I figure it in scale wise. So the actual thing would be closer to almost 3 to 4 feet long, and that's too big for
Yeah.
the scene. But going through the internet and all sorts of photographs that are available online, there are smaller steamboats out there that are definitely modelable and would scale down for the layout where it wouldn't be too obtuse. There was a lot of prototypes, and I'm probably showing some of these pictures that I fetched off the internet over the last 10 years, because this is something where I want to build a steamboat, something scale, something that's actually really neat, where you look at it and understand how the machine works, because it's all going to be open, so you'll see the boilers, you'll see the engines that rotate. There was one of my Facebook friends, Jake Durking, went down south and found the Delta Queen last week. And so these are photographs of the Delta Queen that I'm going to show you that Jake had shot, showing that the train, or the boat, is in disrepair. So is that train over there. But the boat is in disrepair. The paint is peeling. It's not the glory days of what the Delta Queen used to be, which leads me to believe now that we're starting to see all these brand new cruise ships on the Mississippi River, like this beautiful one I saw last summer. What a gorgeous day. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I can't wait for the green to come back. This is going to replace that beautiful old boat. I can't see, how do you salvage that? Do you make a museum of it?
Right.
We've got photographs that Joshua found on the internet of the Delta Queen in her pristine days.
Yep.
And I'm not going to look for my slides, but when I was in 7th or 6th grade, it was parked behind the house down here. So I went down there, got on it, and got a tour of the whole ship and shot, I don't know how many rolls of slide film back then of it. So it was a beautiful, beautiful boat. Obviously, again, too big to model on an HO scale layout, because the Delta Queen would probably be another 4 feet long.
But
I found a steamboat in the Micromark catalog. And I'm probably going to try to find a photograph on the internet of it to show you. This is a kit. It's probably laser cut. And this is a smaller type of boat. If I don't want to just scratch build it, to actually go ahead and build something that's a kit, paint it all white, make it look interesting, and put it on that scene over there.
I've seen a lot of Edmund Fitzgerald's or those those giant boats
Right.
at different layouts. We saw one when we were in Chicago.
Yeah.
You know, and that seems to be really extravagant. And if you don't have the layout room, that's the perfect thing to do a little a little steamboat, or even like a tugboat of some kind. You know, those can be smaller, and there's different sizes, so you can, you know, selective compress.
As long
things
as you
like
make
that.
the doorways like 6 or 7 feet high,
Right.
you know, you could use just about any
It's
scale.
kind of like the same concept as the Menards rocket
Right,
ship. You know,
right.
you can
That's true.
as long as you can embellish in certain ways, it'll still look good and still bring to your
The
eye.
pilot house on this model would be HO scale right now, all day
Right,
long.
right.
It's just the right everything.
But
Right.
down here, that's not HO scale
Yeah.
for people. to
Handrails,
walk. So
right.
it's kind of a manipulation of the eye, and you know. The
And another
compression.
thing would be is if you had a large water scene, this would be a great background prop on an HO scale
would.
Oh,
layout.
yeah.
Just, I mean,
Yeah.
it still looks good sitting over there now.
I
It
think it
does.
does, yeah.
And anything. That
I like the barge
else to
that's
look
over
at.
there. It's a lot more modern, and you know that's kind of what we're going for a little more here.
And that's another thing I'm gonna have to do is a video on how to redo water, because that water is getting dense in it. There's fingernails in it. There's all kinds of
Well, and the
people get on there with their elbows,
The
so
foam
there's
Yeah.
dimples
shrinkage
in
as
it.
well.
Correct.
No more elbows.
Yeah, no more. Oh,
Mike, speaking of steamboats, do you remember I had in old slides? This goes back a long time. There was a steamboat that was it sank on the riverfront.
Yes,
That
yes.
had a leak and then, overnight, and then the
Yeah.
next day it sank.
That
I
was the
can't remember-
military ship.
No,
The
No,
minesweeper?
it was,
the minesweeper. I remember got pushed down because of
Right,
the flood.
because
but
of the
this
flood.
was, I guess it had to be.
I think this was, it was
early
like
late
1967.
Yeah, it's very
like
cons-
right around Christmas time.
And it just sank right there.
Well,
on
it-
the riverfront.
yeah,
Really?
it tilted, enough of it sank, and it hit the bottom of the sloped levee. So it was just sitting. It was during the cold weather, and the ice coming through was crushing it and stuff.
wow.
And so
I got some old slides that I remember when we were talking
Yeah.
about the riverfront and the McDonald's and all the
That's very
stories
cool.
going back
Yeah.
to
Right.
the thing that I remember that my parents went down there and they actually
Yeah.
took pictures of it
Yeah.
because it's, you know, I guess something to see. But it's somewhere in the 60s
yeah,
have to be.
there's
that
been
way,
a lot of boat fiascos down there on the riverfront.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Wasn't the first bridge that came over the Mississippi River, wasn't that hit by a steamboat on purpose to try and knock the train or keep the train from coming? I have it in one of my books in
Yeah.
St. Louis.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'll get back
would
to you
make
on all
sense.
the information. But yeah, I remember a ship captain or something was mad because they were taking their trips back and forth from the river and
Yeah.
slammed
Right.
into the side
Wow.
of it of some.
I remember when the
attribute.
Admiral was a gambling boat, and it
Yeah, I
Casino.
remember that.
Yeah.
it was full of people, and it got cut loose during a storm, heavy winds, and it started drifting down the
man.
Mississippi. And it just barely cleared underneath one of the bridges. They were afraid it was going to hit and then go, you know.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's crazy.
Where is the model kit of a modern era tugboat?
Yeah.
And actually, modern
I think
era tugboats, that's
I've seen
deceiving.
them.
All the
Yeah.
boats I see out here were built in the 50s. And they're just upgraded
Yeah,
and modernized.
right.
Yeah.
I actually haven't seen a brand new river tugboat before, or
The
pusher.
dredger
But where's
for
the
this
kit for
part
that?
is from 1900 too. Isn't
There's
it?
been kits of
I bet there's 3D
ocean-going
kits out
tugboats.
there
Yeah.
now.
I mean, just a barge and a rake would be a great concept for a model.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, your barge.
I guess
over
the
there
problem
pretty
is the
cool.
barges and rakes are 200 feet long, and that's too prohibitive for the market.
Right.
But with 3D printing going on, here comes the barge markets, guys.
Yeah.
How about the tugboats, the pushers? There's
Make
got
it
to.
in sections.
I
have a
bet
front
somebody's
part
already
and a
on
back
it.
part, and just make the inserts.
With the
however-
LEDs
Yeah.
going on, there's all the little
Oh,
yellow lights
yeah.
around. I mean, it's such a
yeah.
modelable subject, and it's so interesting. Just
Oh,
watching.
remember the one guy down in Kentucky made a whole scale one. It was at the RPM 2 years in
Yes.
a row. I can't remember his name, but it had all the LEDs on it and everything. He had, you know, it was just an amazing model.
Yeah.
So,
It's cool what people
Took up
are
a whole
doing out
8-foot
there in
table.
the hobby.
yeah.
Mike, what have you been
So-
working on? You got some stuff going on here.
Well, Josh, was talking about getting that catalog. We went over to Redboard over there, and is that Belleville? What's or
Sure,
O'Fallon?
it's Illinois-ish.
Yeah, it's everything's
is
Illinois over there. Everything
just
is Illinois.
Illinois.
It's Illinois.
It's over there.
Yeah,
It's over there.
but Paul Freese has a nice little store there. He's always got well stocked, all the paint and everything. Everything I look for, he's always got. So anyway, I've had my eye on this coil car for a while. It's a Walthers car, and it really is just a tiny bit too new for my era. My era is like 78, and this has a date of June of 79. But I always thought those fiberglass hoods were cool when they first
Yes,
came
yeah.
out. And so I couldn't resist. And the Walthers car really has a lot of nice upgrades from the old coil cars that they had in the past. It's all got all the grab irons all the way around, and the handholds and grabs everything along the hood, and the lifting structure and everything. So that's a nice, really nice model. I couldn't resist it. So
It is.
anyway,
That's the first time I've ever seen one in person with those hoods on it. It's neat.
yeah.
it's super
Well,
nice.
they've got a couple other more modern
I have an
designed
I have
hoods.
an Illinois Central that's super
Yeah.
modern. Yeah.
So then a couple weeks ago, I brought in, maybe it was last week when Tom Orlando was here, 2 3D printed cars from Custom Model Depot, Mike Humbert up in Seattle. And I had a gold car like this. It's a 71 Chrysler 300, and I ordered 2 of those. So this one I painted black, and to kind of give it a sinister look, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Something a little different, And this is the one that I had the chassis painted, so you can
Wow.
take a look at that. All the detail on that chassis is just freaking
Yeah,
unbelievable,
yeah, it's
man.
cool.
So anyway, then this truck here is from River Point Station. It's a River Point Station bed, but I put a Chevy cab, a 3D printed Chevy cab on it, and it represents a Missouri State Highway Department truck. And I got the decals from Paul Knowles. He's up in St. Joseph, Missouri. He's a real prolific truck modeler, especially maintenance away stuff. He's at all the shows and stuff, and he sent me some decals for this truck. So he built one with the modern Ford cab on it, and I did one retro with a Chevy cab on it. So
Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
anyway, it fits my era more. So I wanted to give a shout out to Brad Ogden too. He's a fan of our show.
Yep.
He's been like for 3, 4, 5 years, I guess. I don't know how long he's been around, but he's always had a lot of health problems. He's in and out of these rehab centers and stuff, and he manages to get a lot of modeling work done there in his room, and
Nice.
which I imagine probably blows a lot of people away that are in there. But they took away his X-Acto knife, and so now he's left with all these half-finished projects, and I mean pretty ambitious projects, modifying locomotives and stuff, and
Very cool.
scratch
Right.
building some stuff. So anyway, we hope he gets back
Yeah.
on the
Hope
track.
he gets
Absolutely.
better soon.
Yeah.
Give a
Absolutely.
shout out to Brad.
Yep.
So, and then another guy I was talking to Josh about this guy named Nathan Stankowski. He's building a bridge out of pink styrofoam, but he's doing it brick by brick. He cut his styrofoam in.
Yes.
This is amazing. Then he takes the styrofoam bricks and puts them in a coffee can full of rocks and tumbles them till they're all rounded off around the edges.
Pretty amazing.
So I'm going to
work.
bring some photographs in next week, and I want you to put them on the show. But he didn't want to take credit for that technique. He said he learned it from Luke Towan and then maybe the Black Magic Modelers Group or something. But I had never heard of that technique. But the stones, I mean, it's the most realistic thing I've ever
It
seen.
looks really, really neat.
So
Wow.
anyway,
Really
I'll
neat.
Yeah, I
I'll
want to
bring-
see pictures.
Yeah, I'll bring those
Yeah.
in next week. So
Look, N scale.
Oh, Steve Mantia brought N-Scale.
Look,
Yes.
N scale.
N scale.
So you found these gems in a collection?
Yes, I had a gentleman who watches the podcast all the time, Royce Lacey, contacted me about a month ago and gave me, he'd seen our ad on the What's Neat podcast here about buying trains.
Okay.
And he had a number of N-scale locomotives that he wanted to get rid of in that. So we worked out a little deal so that I went ahead and bought them. And there's numerous Atlas and Cato, and there's a Broadway Limited. But the very nice one here is this brass, Overland Models Shea locomotive that is
Yeah, I'll
very
re-roll
nice,
this, Richard.
very nice locomotive in that.
That
but,
is gorgeous.
I've never seen an N-scale shade.
Neither have
No,
I.
it was
Especially
very-
in brass.
Yeah.
I know it's very nice there, but everything, most of the locomotives.
I
were
bet that's got to be
unrun.
$1,000 piece right there.
That's
Because the sticker on the side says for something, and that does not, Overland Models is.
I mean, that was
been a,
probably
been a while
25
that way.
years
but,
ago when it cost
I
that.
appreciate that Royce contacted me. The other thing is how our mail service is here is when I mailed him a payment, I put it in a priority mail envelope. They told me it would be a couple days before it would get there. Well, you watch it being tracked.
Yeah.
Slowly, I think, across the country, since Virginia is pretty far away, I guess. But it took about a week for it to get there. So
Dang.
there's always so you just watched it go
Yeah,
back,
yeah.
leave here and there. So the essence we had that standpoint there.
Yeah.
But the other fact is I brought, as usual, in that time of year.
Oh, it's Valentine's
boy.
Day.
Valentine's Day.
Oh
so
my
making
God!
sure
I gotta
that,
get some flowers.
That's it. I gotta make
boy.
sure my favorite Valentine, Glenda Sue.
What day is that?
So you got Fat Tuesday on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
And then Ash Wednesday is also Valentine's Day.
So Wednesday.
So
Wow.
Wednesday the
yeah.
14th.
There's still time.
So
There's
if you
very- there's
if you
very
don't
time.
eat meat on Ash Wednesday, you can't take your woman out to a steak dinner.
Oh, I see.
It's lobster.
I would have to. Glenda would want to go to a pasta dinner.
There you
that's
go.
that's
There
where I
you
would
go.
have to
That's-
take.
yeah.
I have
There
to
you
take
go.
Glenda to pasta.
I like
and
pasta,
That's
yeah.
the
I
top
like
of the
pasta
list
too.
there.
Yeah, especially that's handmade right at your table.
All right, so if you guys are folks out there like Steve Mantia that has train shows, and he has now one twice a year here in St. Louis, down there at the Elks at the
Arnold.
Arnold. Those are the type of train shows that we want to promote on this show.
Yep.
The train shows that, there's probably a board that runs your show, so it's going to be approved by your board. But we want to advertise your dates, share them on the show, because we've had good luck with Steve's numbers. We've had great luck with the RPM show since 2012 over the years, and it is definitely redundancy that helps. But you can go to kenpatterson.com. On there is a page that says train shows, and all the, there's no rules, but the hoops you need to jump through for us to work together are there. Contact me. Everything's there.
Yep.
Very easy hoops to jump through.
Very
I
easy.
must
Well,
say.
yeah, it's just it comes natural. Talking about the
Yeah.
hobby, promoting a show, selling tables, making sure that the people even know it's there. Look how well it's worked for my father's train show in Sedalia.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Where people now are coming there to tell them, well, we heard about it on What's Neat.
Yeah.
God, that's happened so many times.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's an effective platform for doing that,
Yeah.
and and rock and roll. Let's do it. We're going to do it again with that Lawrence
There's all kinds of options we can talk
Model
about.
Railroad Club that's having their show
Yeah.
coming up.
From us talking about it on here to us coming to your show.
Oh, you got free passes for that show too.
Yeah,
the
I
Lawrence,
can't wait.
Model Railroad.
Lawrence, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Lawrence.
So these people are really cool, and we're going to do that.
Yeah.
So with that, have we covered everything around this table
Actually,
tonight?
well,
we
one
want to
more
talk
thing.
about Daniel and George
Daniel.
Bogota.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Daniel's
Hi.
here. Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Daniel.
All right, so got contacted, personally from George Bogatalk at Soundtracks, and he asked if I want to be a commercial, and I definitely said, yeah, we'll go ahead and give it a shot. So Josh is my cameraman, filled me in, using, this is going to be one of my models with the Blue Nami installed. It's an old Proto 2000. Now, of course, first, before I installed the decoder, I had to think lifelike thump. Well, cracked
Yeah.
gears in both sets of trucks. So you know
I'm
what?
sure mine are the same way.
Yeah,
Changed out
it happens.
everything.
So a quick trip to Athearn online, bought the gear replacements, and they make an exact fit. I know
Yes,
it's
they
Athearn.
do.
Very nice.
But all I had to do was put a drill bit through the center and then put the two wheels together in and works. Put the Blue Nami in, and then went ahead and made a short commercial just saying, Lunami as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Don't give it away.
I'm not giving it
Yeah,
away
yeah.
after
Stay
this.
tuned for
Yeah,
the
stay
commercial.
tuned.
leave them wanting more.
That's
it.
right.
More,
That's right.
more Daniel. That's what they want.
That's right. And we
Yes.
always need more Daniel.
That's it. More Daniel all the time.
All right, rock and roll. With that said, you know what we're going to do next?
Uh-oh.
Poor James.
Not
James
James again.
He just keeps getting knocked over.
Oh,
He's not here to defend
What
himself.
are you
Yeah.
doing,
man.
James? You know,
Take it easy, man.
Give me that. I
Yeah.
want to
NCE, Hammerhead, Pro Cab
Wait a
throttle,
minute.
and the
Take
smaller
that pencil out of his
throttles.
hand.
We
He
are
doesn't
going to
need
run
that.
some trains. I am done with the pencils for tonight.
someone else will have to hold James up.
2 erasers.
Yeah, that's
Best
the only
hobby
one
in the
that-
world
yeah.
with some of the best people in it sitting all around me right here tonight, guys. Be sure to like us, hit
And
the bell,
and subscribe.
subscribe. I think we're past, what, 16,000 subscribers?
Leave a comment. Tell us what you think about the show. Thank you for letting us into your house and into your hobby rooms.
Right.
Thanks to Rich Bianca for running camera.
Yeah,
That's
thanks,
right.
Rich.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Rich.
Rich. Thank you.
All right, guys, with that said, let's go run some trains.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Royce.
34 minutes,
Nice.
32 minutes, 44 seconds. Keep camera number 1 rolling.
Thumbnail.
And we have to do a thumbnail. Oh, can we eat those? It's okay, I'm used to eating old candy. I grew up with grandparents.
Ew.
I probably ate candy from the 60s and it was still delicious. Here we go, ready? Everybody look at camera number 1 and I still like thumbnail shot around that
Bada
bridge.
bing, bada boom.
Bada bang.
Bada boom boom.
Bang.
Sorry, James. It's
With the Sears catalog, we used to, my brother and I, had the same thing. You'd have to put a S or an M next to that.
Okay.
So of course, what you'd have to do as a brother, so you'd go into the other little things. There would be the other, girl things, and I would put my brother's initial that way type of thing. So you had to do that kind of stuff
That
in the
was-
catalog. But
That was the highlight. I would get it right around Halloween time.
Yep.
And I'd have about a
I
month
do.
to look at everything.
Yes.
And that was
That's
every night.
exciting.
I would lay on the floor and watch TV.
okay. So I'm gonna go get
Great.
you a $20 bill and buy that Walthers catalog.
Here you go, sir.
Thank you very much.
How much did I pay for it? Like 25 bucks?
You better hurry up. All right. Good job.
You're not, it's probably not supposed to say that.
I know, right?
For real.